Welcome back, listeners, to the Cosmic Confluence podcast. Now, let me tell you, listeners, today's conversation it sits in a very interesting and honestly uncomfortable space. It's about AI music, creativity, and it's about that moment where technology, identity, emotion, and meaning seem to collide, sometimes beautifully, sometimes chaotically. Now, listeners, let me tell you, whenever we hear about AI music, I mean, of course, people would say that AI doesn't have any place in the world of creativity. But then, it can go to extremes. Like either it's framed as the future that will see creativity or as a threat that will erase what makes art human. And I think that's the beauty. That is where I want to slow that down. Because behind every system is a person. Behind every tool is a set of values, and behind every piece of music, whether it's made by a human, an algorithm, or both, there is an emotional intention, or at least the illusion of one. My guest today understands systems from the inside. Cody Johnston, also known as the Weird Canadian, spent years building and maintaining large scale government and financial systems used by millions of people. Then he stepped away from optimizing systems to start translating them. Through content, storytelling, and now music, Corey explores burnout, reinvention, Canadian identity, and the emotional cost of modern work. So, Corey, welcome to Cosmic Confluence, and I'm really, really excited for this one.
Thank you very much for having me, and I'm really excited to kind of explore the connection between the AI and the human.
Of course, of course. I think this is a very tough spot to actually navigate, because mostly I have had experience of, the extreme, like the extreme, it's a threat. AI is a threat, whether it's movies or music or creativity, anything. So I
So
feel
the one misconception I would love to address there is the people saying this have their own LLMs that they're asking these questions to, but I don't think they fundamentally understand their own creation. AI is literally just a mirror looking back at yourself right now. So anything your entire being, your entire soul, as you're chatting with the AI right now, is just being reflected at how you interpret the world. So if you're interpreting the world to be doom and gloom, the most likely outcome that AI is going to find is doom and gloom.
hmm, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Corey, I mean, you have a very interesting background because you spent over a decade inside large institutional systems, where more than self expression, there's precision, predictability, risk management, these stuff matter. And then now you're making music that, leans into emotion, feeling, um, ambiguity. So,
Yeah.
my question is like, simple, it's direct. Do you see AI music tools as just another system? Or do they represent something fundamentally different from the systems you left behind?
I think they introduce a new system. It's another tool in our toolbox. I think we AI or LLMs are experiencing what I'm now referring to as the internet moment, where we're just trying to figure it out. We're that's why you're seeing the slop, you're seeing the worry. We don't understand its true being yet. We're still figuring it out. So it's very much a matter of it's just another tool right now, and it's a predictive tool at that. The forefront models, I don't know anything about anymore. They've started hiding them, so we don't know how far we've advanced in certain fields. But as I see it right now, it's just a tool. There's nothing different from it to the internet to social media. It's just another tool you have to learn, another tool in your pocket, another skill to have that will make you valuable in the future.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And where you sit down to create music now, um, how conscious are you of where the system ends and where your own emotional authorship begins?
So I always see it as there's no spark to the AI, right? The idea has to come from somewhere. Um, that's where I really think the human gets added, right? Like so, To put a little bit of context in this, I was a singer growing up as a kid. I was a songwriter. Um, as I grew, my voice became less and less ideal for singing. So I had real shame in creating my music and trying to put it out there, and have it sound half decent and what I think I want to hear in my brain. AI has given me that ability to play with it until it sounds exactly how I hear it in my head.
Okay. Mm.
There's no the machine doesn't know how to do that. It's purely me having to tune the system to what I want. Um, and I think it's just aligning it with your soul.
Hmm. And I mean, I'm very sure not all the listeners will connect with this or agree with this, but mm, it's basically like, you are not rejecting systems outright. I mean, that would come from a point of insecurity, or maybe you haven't used it at all, but still then you are saying that, it's a threat. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not a threat, but then there's a nuance here. It's not black and white. And what you specifically mentioned, Cody, is that, it's a relationship. Like, you are treating AI less like a replacement and more like a lens, more like a channel, like an enabler, something that reflects your intent rather than dictating it. So that's amazing.
Very
Yeah.
very much so. And that's what everybody has to think about when they're using these things. It's your intent. Um, so that's all it's trying to do is fulfill your intent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Cody, in, Cosmic Confluence, this podcast, it's the name itself. First of all, it's a bit of a difficult one, but then it's also poetic. Like, this technology, creativity, identity, timing, aligning in a way that creates meaning. Um, from your perspective, Corey, do you think AI music can genuinely um, participate in that kind of alignment, or is it just borrowing the aesthetics of meaning without actually, experiencing it?
It it's different for some people. Like I want to address that. Like I don't equate AI music to be like um the same as the creation of music. Like I'm not. I don't think I'm the same as a musician.
Yeah.
I'm more of an orchestrator. Um,
Okay.
in that regard, but to me, over the years, the music that has been pushed out has become soulless. It has no lyrics. It doesn't really like it sounds great, but it doesn't find home. AI allows you to actually put the messages that you're looking for into your music. Like it allows you to dive into ideas that you can't articulate and that everybody suffers through or everybody feels. And I feel bad
Mhm.
that I have to use other people's voices to do that. But at the same time, I wasn't the one that stole their voices. And to think that an individual is the blame because the corporations have taken hold of it, there's going to be models that come out to help and pay people properly for these things. But to not use them, I think, is a disservice to the music industry and to people in general because you're missing out on so much soulful music that can come from people who just don't want to spend the 15, 20 years learning the one path that you have to make it, right? Like that's a huge time investment when
Yeah.
you have no idea if it's going to pan out. Like that's a scary thing to throw out there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but again, I don't equate us to being the same. There's going to be a market for the AI that makes the music that resonates with people, and then there's going to be a market for the human um, generation. And I think people need to stop thinking it's black and white world. Everybody's gonna love what they love, and we shouldn't be shaming for where it comes from.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is not just only music, but Corey, I've seen beautiful creations coming out of AI, um, whether it's history relived. I mean, I see some, there were some videos on ancient civilizations relived through the world of AI. Extinct animals relived through the world of AI. Beautifully done, beautifully done. But then at the same time, some horrible outputs or products out there.
Yep.
Like it's a I mean it's a complete disservice. And I think that the key word, like, I really loved the word that he used, orchestrator. The key word here is, I think, the intent. What's exactly your intent? Is it just um unabashedly throwing out simple, AI stuff just to mint some money out there and get some engagement, or it's actually creating something with the help of technology, but then a genuine human intent behind it.
My favorite part about AI is it can take topics I don't understand and break it down enough that I can. Like
Yeah.
that is the most powerful tool I could ever tell anybody. Here, you could take this very complex, uh, convoluted uh, topic and break it down enough so that you understand how it works. That is that is an amazing ability. And once you have the ability to learn, you can go anywhere, do anything. You're more likely to put your all into it because you're excited for what you're going to figure out. I don't put out my music for anybody else, to be clear either. Like I put it out for myself. It is
Yeah.
something I resound with, I love, and I spent a little bit of money to put it up on some networks and see if other people resonate with it. But it's something I'll do regardless of if people like it or not.
Exactly. I love that. I love that, Cody. And we have kind of seen it's uh, kind of a nostalgia that there was a time when we would all listen to EDM. Like,
Mhm.
some people would say that it's just loud music, loud noise, nothing else.
I love Avicii was my
It's kind of
man. I loved him.
yeah, yeah. I mean, just really hear the songs out there, the music, the lyrics. I mean, it's a form of self-expression.
Mhm. And it's a form of self-expression that you get to have in any genre, way, ability. Like you can make it whatever you want it to be. So the way I've built my music is around my identity. So I make sure that there's a white Canadian male as vocals. I make sure it's grounded in my Canadian heritage. I make sure it's honest and welcoming. And then I also try and incorporate stories that I think are prudent to life. I do a lot of protest music from my country. I bring to light a lot of issues that I think are problematic and are able to highlight these things in a way that people can enjoy them and ingest them easily. So it's also not just about like creating the music; it's about getting the message across too. Um, it's powerful to be able to break that down for others.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that it is definitely grounding because um, it, it's like admitting that meaning can be constructed, not discovered. Like, that doesn't make it fake, but then it does make responsibility unavoidable. Like, especially for creators who are now kind of sitting between personal expression and industrial scale technology.
Um, the biggest the biggest thing I found was between my career transition was
Mhm.
the sense of self I had, the sense of passion that I put more into my work than I was working for
Okay.
the government, where I wasn't able to truly um, impart the work I wanted to do to help the people I wanted to help.
Okay. Hmm.
Um, Corporations are all good and dandy, but they stop a lot of good work for not a whole lot of meaning.
Yeah. Yeah. That is true. That is true. Um,
So I feel a lot better in my soul by doing this.
that is true. That is true. And I think we are seeing that shift in all the, especially in the areas of creative expression. whether it's writing. I mean, uh, we have some brilliant independent um, creators on YouTube and other platforms, who are actually getting a way to share in their own capacity with their own resources, but at least they have that freedom.
So to kind of give you a little bit of insight into what my goal is eventually I want to turn the Weird Canadian into a Canadian media company,
Oh,
where I can bring in storytellers and people to have their own uh, bring forth their own stories, create new TV, new movies, new music. Like I want to build an economy that is built on um, trust and respect, and making sure that the creators get their fair share. Um, I want to build I want to build it so that I can be essentially the shit shield for my the people under me. I want to be the protector of their rights, their music, their intelligence, whatever they want to build. I want them to have full authority over that and to give them the ability to expand um, and grow with the Weird Canadian eventually. Right now, I'm on the journey of building the Weird Canadian, and then eventually I'll be bringing on others to help uh, bring that to vision to life.
I really love that. Really, really love that. And something a bit, that I really find it very endearing here. Like, you have openly spoken about burnout and reinvention, especially after, years inside high pressure systems. Um, do you see AI music tools as helping people reconnect with creativity, or do you worry that, they might become a shortcut that keeps people from doing deeper emotional work? Like
Yeah.
recently we have had studies and researches that people who are, I mean, in like uh, completely dependent on AI, their brains are kind of, shrinking or something like, I mean, not exactly quoting the word, but yeah.
So I do I am concerned about that. The issue is it's not something that we're actively going to be able to address. This is something that individuals need to take into their own power. Like I can't stop you from posting um whatever you want online. Same way I can't stop you from using AI. But what I do tell everybody is don't use it as a crutch. Don't use it to do your work for you. Use it to help you do your work. Use it to extend your abilities. Right now, I love reading research papers just to know what's going on in the world, how things work.
Mhm.
I have it do a deep dive for me every day on research papers that I could just sit here and peruse that I like, that field my interest, that help me learn more about things. I don't use my AI. I do use my AI for SEO and things like that, where the algorithm is more um the goal. But whenever a human is the one I want to touch, that's where I'm putting the most amount of myself into the work. And I think we really are gonna have a line of people who are willing to put themselves into the work, and people who are just not willing to do that. And I unfortunately I don't think there's any way to solve that aside from telling people or just showcasing how much fun it is to build as opposed it is to consume.
Yeah, yeah. And I think uh, it's not about chasing novelty or maybe then also clinging to purity either. Like, you're choosing it deliberately, like which feels like the through line of your entire
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to add here is there is no reason now for anybody to say they don't know how to do something.
Yeah.
Literally none. It will teach you. There is no reason to say that I don't know how to do it, therefore I can't do it.
Yes. Yes.
So I just want people to think about that. Your wildest dreams are about to come true if you want them to happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Intention and then action.
Yeah. Make sure you do the action though. That's the hard part. I took a lot of my time learning and gaining the knowledge, and now I get to put it into practice. And it's so much more exciting than just getting to learn.
That's true. That's true. Oh, amazing, amazing. So before we wrap up, if listeners they would like to explore your work, they would like to connect with you, share their thoughts and opinions, how they can connect with you. Yep.
I'm available across every social media platform under The Weird Canadian. Even if you search in an LLM, The Weird Canadian, a lot of my information will come up. I got lucky choosing my name. It's not very well known. So I got very much the whole space on The Weird Canadian. And then if you'd like to listen to my music, it's on Spotify under The Weird Canadian. And I also have a website at theweirdcanadian.ca.
Super. That's smart. Smart. Listeners, what I'm going to do here is just mention that Google the Weird Canadian. We'll get all the details. But anyway, and I have all the links to make it easy for all of you listeners. But do check out the Weird Canadian, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere, and refer to the show notes along with this episode on your favorite podcast platform. And I think, listeners, this conversation, it reminds me at least that AI music is not really about technology. I believe it's about how we connect or relate to systems, how we assign meaning, how we navigate uncertainty without numbing ourselves to it. So, Cody, thank you. Thank you so much because you brought nuance, honesty, then also restrained into a topic that I think often gets flattened into extremes. Thank you.
Yes. No problem. Thank you.
And to all the listeners, I think this isn't a call to just adopt or reject anything. This is a call to stay curious, stay open, stay reflective, and yeah, keep tuning to the Cosmic Conference podcast. I'm your host, Sana, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Take care of your mind, your creativity, and the systems you choose to engage with. Thank you.